Hey guys, so apparently when I was finishing up my first part to the upper of the pistol, the camera wasn't actually videotaping the finished part. Anyways, I did a little bit of fitment on the rear sight to get the charging handle to pull back, and a little bit of oiling on the rails and whatnot, so now the slide moves smoothly. Anyways, on this second part, we're going to be working on the lower end of the gun. So what we're going to be putting into the gun is a, let's see, stippled grip. We're going to do that. We're going to put in adjustable trigger. It's anodized in blue. It's not going to match perfectly up with the slide, but the customer said that wasn't the biggest problem. So we're also going to be putting in a AIP sear spring. Anyways, just grab the parts right here next to me. We got, this is the trigger. Just pull it out so you guys can see. This is the trigger. Oh, also forgot. I put in the internals of the nozzle. That's what I forgot to videotape as well. So, we got the trigger. Stippled grip right here. It's got a nice texture to it. It also has a ton of accessories with it as well. We've got a black magazine release with the competition screw-on part. We actually got a new screw. If you guys you probably can't see, there's a screw right here in the frame which holds the grip to the upper part of the frame. That screw can easily get stripped. It's not the best quality pop metal, so they actually gave us new screw. We got 2 grip screws for each side. This grip has more screws on the bottom. Those are just cosmetic. And we've also got, that's it actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to take apart the lower frame. We've also got our sear spring right here. I'll just open this up. Just trying to be careful since you don't want to bend it at all. There you go. That's the sear spring. See, it's got all these, looks like a leaf. Some people call it sear spring, some people call it leaf spring, so that's why it's the name. Just put these packaging stuff to the side. So, what we're gonna do when we disassemble the grip from the frame with our Allen keys, we're gonna wanna take, let's see, actually a screwdriver. We'll do this base screw first, so let's see, this one will do. The screwdriver in there, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now this is the screw that came with the grip actually, so it's going to be replaced. It's a little long. It goes all the way into this part of the grip. Now, next part, we're going to take off these 2 Allen screws, along with the grip screw, or the rear safety. So, what you can do to take this one's sort of a hassle to take off. So, there's actually a pin right here, along with a spring and a second pin. Now, the spring, if you pull this piece out, it's going to shoot the pin out, and you really don't want to lose this. And I'm on a carpet floor, so I probably won't be able to find it. So what I like to do, switch this over to a small flathead. So with the small flathead, I push in the pin, and then I remove the rear safety. Now I have the pin under pressure. With my finger, I'll hold it and let go slowly. So now the pin's right here, and we'll take that pin out. So this is the pin right here. It's very dirty, surprisingly. And that's what can shoot out. And you don't get replacement part with that in your new grip. You got the spring as well. If I can pick it up, that would be nice. You got the spring. That goes with the pin. And then there's the last one, the second pin, right here. So now the last step to take off the frame from the grip is with your Allen screw. I'm using metric size 2.5. That should be the right size, never mind. I'm going up to 3. So we got our first grip screw out. Nice silver, actually. There we go. Yeah, everything popped out. You can see that was what was holding it in. Normally that doesn't happen. That was a big surprise, actually. So now you separate your frame with your grip, or your frame. This piece right here is connected to your hammer. We're not going to be doing anything to the frame, so we'll just put that to the side. Now, what we're going to be replacing right here is, let's see. Okay. So first things first, we're going to need to get out the trigger. So the way to do that, you're going to take out this hammer section. This holds your hammer spring in here. Never upgrade your hammer spring, most useless thing. It just ruins your lifespan of all your parts. It's not worth it. So I'm actually, with the punch set right here that I have, I'm using a 3/32. That's a good size punch, and with the punch hammer. This probably will take a while. You gotta be careful. You don't wanna mess it up. So just come back to you guys when it's done. Alright, so now that I got it out, the punch is out, you should be able, or the pin is out, you should be able to slide this piece out, if I'm correct. Just making sure. There we go. Now thankfully I don't have to take out all the parts in here. It's all included in the grip, the stippled grip that I got. And this is the leaf spring. We're upgrading this piece. And then this is, actually, you gotta put in the last part. With the flathead screw, you're gonna push in the screw on your magazine release and then twist. And that's how you lock it in place, so now it's not functional anymore. And you should be able to slide it out. And then out comes the trigger with the trigger bar as well. And then the grip is completely hollow now. Now the trigger bar, it has one roll pin, it looks like. And that might be a little bit of a hassle to get out with the punch, but just take a little bit of time. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna set up our trigger to be put in. Now, here is the trigger itself. So it comes with a roll pin in here, in one little bag, and in the other little bag is an Allen screw. Now that Allen screw is what you use to adjust the trigger pull in the pistol. And that screw goes right through here. So we'll set up this real quickly. Just make it the right size. So for metric, that is a 1.5. you put it through the hole. So the bottom right here is the part with the hole. That's how you know. And then you can put your Allen key or screw through the hole and pull it out. There you go. So you might be able to see, but the screw is in there, and you tighten it to make your trigger pull less long, I guess. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get the roll pin out of here, and then we'll be able to remove this trigger bar right here. So after like 5 minutes of punching out this roll pin, it finally came out. I hate roll pins. A lot of airsoft companies use them. They're a complete pain to remove. But now, once I remove this, the trigger bar should be able to be pulled out. And then what we're gonna do next is hammer in, oh, sorry. I dropped the little box. What we're gonna do is hammer in the good roll pin that they gave us instead of this awful one that was in there. Now, the true test right here, you should be able to drop this in and it doesn't get caught. If it does get caught, then I might have to do some sanding work through. So I put this in, I should be able to push it up and it gets caught a little bit. Maybe just putting it back and forth a little bit. Yeah, so what's happening, it's getting caught on the top. You want it to be a smooth pull. If it does that, it can actually go full auto by accident because the trigger isn't resetting. So what I'm gonna do, I'm holding it up to the light. There's a light above me. So I hold it up to the light and I can actually see that the top part, there's no light coming through it. So that's where it's getting caught. I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding there and smoothing it out. That way the trigger pull will be nice and smooth and it won't get caught anymore. So I'll get back to you guys once I do that. So it moves smoothly now, which is a really good thing. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the rest of it, the grip, back together along with our new sear, which is this one right here. So this goes along right here. Put our hammer assembly back over that. We're only doing it halfway so we can close it up once we're done. There you go. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put in our, I guess you could say it's a flared magazine release. So this is the magazine release right here. You got the part for it. It's a spring with a little nub. You put that down there, just like the previous one with our flat head. We push it down and turn it so it's now in a locked position. This is the flared sort of thing. It's a little bit of a bigger button to press it easier. By the way, for the customer, if you plan on using it as a secondary, take off the flared, because if you're putting this in a holster, the holster could accidentally press the button and drop your magazine on the ground. You could lose it or whatever while you're running. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. It's really easy, just unscrew it out. There you go, so it drops in place. And then what we're gonna do with our screwdriver, we just put it in, turn, now it's locked. Wow, that's a strong screw. Or not a strong screw, it's a strong spring. It's got a nice push, so it keeps it locked in place. We can just put this on right now, or later. Doesn't really matter. I'll just put it in later, it's a little bit hard to align it. So, well, now we've got our whole assembly. We can actually put in our grip screws now. So what they did, they melted the plastic, which made it so I couldn't pull it out. So with my knife, just cutting it, so now I can get all the grip screws out. They didn't want to come out beforehand. So we'll put in the 2 bottom ones right now since they're only aesthetic. Allen key. So what they have the holes in there, but you've got to make the threads yourself, so you have to push down a little bit harder. There we go. Just got to get it sort of going. There we go. Oh, you don't get to come out. So now that we've got the sort of grip assembled, we can put on our frame now. Now, there's a hole right here in the hammer spring assembly. You're just gonna line this rod up into the hole, and you can put everything together. There you go. You can see the trigger resets great because I sanded it. Otherwise it could get caught and it would get stuck in full auto. You definitely don't want that to happen. So this magazine release is nice and tight. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna put in our rear safeties. So now we got it pretty good assembled so far. I'm just gonna test out like so. We're getting good to our finished fit so far. Looking good. Yeah. Trigger sounds solid. Let's pull this back. Take this line off. So what we're gonna do now, it actually can be screwed in a little bit more. There we go. So we're gonna put in our flared magazine release part. We've got our slide catch right here, and I think that's about it. We're just gonna put, actually, we're gonna do a little bit of oil on the frame. Let's put a little bit of oil on the frame too, just to get it moving smoothly. There we go. Pull this back so we can put our pin in. We've short stroked it to the max. There you go. So yeah, you can see it's getting caught a little bit. That shouldn't be happening, which means I'll need to do a little bit of fitment on the slide. But for now, completely done. Just gotta get it all situated up. Looks great. I actually like this build. I'll do a photo shoot on my Instagram with it. Put up a post. There'll be a before and after section. Pistol stock versus now. Looks great. If you guys want any custom builds done, just either message me on HopUp under Out of Ammo or my name. You can also DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is the same name as my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's it. If you guys want a custom built pistol, DM me. Have a great rest of the day. See ya.